Friends, in this video, we will study about different types of farming. Now, as we all know that farming is practiced in various ways across the world. Now, depending on the size of land holdings, the type of technology and labor used, the amount of produce, and the geographical conditions like climate, topography, soil, etc., agriculture is broadly divided into two categories. First one is subsistence farming and the second one is commercial farming. Now, the commercial farming is generally of two types. One is intensive subsistence farming and the second one is primitive subsistence farming. Now, the primitive subsistence farming includes shifting cultivation and nomadic herdings. Now, next is the commercial farming. Now, commercial farming is divided into three categories. One is commercial grain farming, mixed farming, and plantation. Now, let us see them one by one. The first one is subsistence farming. Now, as the name suggests, subsistence. Subsistence means supporting oneself. Okay. So, in subsistence agriculture, the crops grown are consumed by the farmer and his family. And the main motive of the farmers is to satisfy the needs of his family. The farmer normally has no surplus space, and whatever little extra that is left over is sold by him. Now, in subsistence farming, the land holdings are small and the farmer and his family members work on the farm themselves and they use small tools for the cultivation. And the crop output is small, it is just enough to sustain the farmer's need. Okay, so what is subsistence farming? In subsistence farming, crops are grown by farmer for the consumption of his own family. Okay, and it involves household labor with low level technology and is done on a small patch of land. Now, subsistence agriculture can be further categorized into intensive and primitive subsistence agriculture. Now, first one is what is intensive subsistence farming. Now, in intensive subsistence farming, the farmer cultivates a small patch of land with simple tools and human labor. Okay, and this type of agriculture is practiced in the densely populated parts of the world, okay, like Southeast and East Asia, including India, China, Japan, Bangladesh, and Malaysia. Now, these regions receive ample sunshine, having fertile soil and suitable weather condition for growing more than one crop in a year. Okay, so this is known as intensive subsistence farming. Okay, what are the features of the intensive subsistence farming? That the farm plots are small, require more labor, the tools used for farming are quite simple. Okay, and this type of agriculture is practiced in the dense populated parts of the world. Now, the next is primitive subsistence farming. Primitive means the ancient. Primitive means the ancient, the earlier. So primitive subsistence farming means the ancient methods of farming. Okay. From ancient time we are following this type of methods, this type of farming. Okay. So first one is intensive subsistence farming, includes shifting cultivation and nomadic herdings. Okay, now shifting cultivation. Under shifting cultivation, a small piece of forest is cleared by felling the trees, cutting the bushes and grasses and the cleared land is then used for cultivation. And the crops are grown for a few years, and then the cultivator shifted to a new site. And this type of agriculture is practiced mostly by the people living in the tropical forest. These are the areas of heavy rainfall and quiet regeneration of vegetations. Now, shifting cultivation is known by different names in different areas. It is known as jhuming in India. In Mexico, it is known as milpa. In Malaysia, it is known as ladang. In Brazil, it is known as ruca. Now, shifting cultivation is practiced in the thickly forested areas of Amazon basin, tropical Africa, and part of Southeast Asia and Northeast India. So, what is shifting cultivation? Shifting cultivation is a type of agriculture which is also known as slash and burn agriculture. It is practiced in thickly forested areas of the Amazon basin, Africa and Northeast India. Forests are first cleared by cutting and burning the vegetations. The ash of the burnt vegetation act as a manure and is mixed with soil. Okay, and the cleared patch of land is cultivated for a few years till the soil started losing its fertility. And the patch of land is then abandoned and the farmers move to a new location and repeats the entire process there again. Okay, now which type of crops grown in shifting cultivation? Crops such as cassava, yam, potato and maize are grown in this type of agriculture. Next one is nomadic herding. In this type of farming, nomadic tribes domesticate certain animals and they wander from place to place in search of pastures and water or due to seasonal changes. So this type of farming involves output of animal produce like milk, meat, wool and hides. Nomadic herding is practiced in the semi-arid and arid regions of Sahara, Central Asia and some parts of India like Rajasthan and Jammu and Kashmir. As I told you, in this type of farming, herdsmen move from place to place with their animals for fodder and water. Sheep, camel, yak and goat are most commonly reared and they provide milk, meat, wool, hides and other products to the herders and their family. Now move to the next type of farming, that is commercial farming. Now what is commercial farming? Commercial farming, under the commercial farming, farmers grow crop to sell in the market. Okay, and profit motive is the basis of commercial agriculture. Main motive of the farmer is to get profit. Okay, and farmers grow both cash as well as food crops. And this type of cultivation provides raw material to agro-based industries. Okay, now what are the features of the commercial farming? That first one is size of farms is big, investment is high, and work is done by machines and hired laborers, and output is high. Okay, so what is commercial farming? Commercial agriculture involves cultivation of crops for sale, and what are the features? Size of the farms is big, investment is high, work is done by the machines and the hired labor, and output is high. Now the commercial farming is divided into three categories: commercial grain farming, mixed farming and plantation. Now what is commercial grain farming? In this type of farming, food grains like wheat, rice, maize, etc. are grown on a large scale. Only grains are grown on a large scale, and it is practiced in the temperate grasslands such as the prairies of North America and the steppes of Eurasia. A single food crop is grown on huge farms with the help of farm machines and the best quality seeds, fertilizers, manures, pesticides, and irrigation facilities. There are proper storage facilities on the farm itself, and the farm is well connected to the nearest commercial centers with a good transport network. Okay, and this type of farming is practiced where there are large open areas, less populated areas, and suitable weather is there. Okay, and for all the processes like for the sowing, plowing, harvesting, for spraying the pesticides, heavy machinery required. Okay, and in some places they spray the pesticides with the help of aircraft. Okay, so what is commercial farming? This type of commercial grain farming, this type of farming is done for selling grains like wheat, rice, maize, etc. in the market. Okay, farmers also call it a cash crop because from that they are getting cash. Okay, now next one is the mixed farming. In mixed farming, in this type of farming, cultivation of crops and rearing of animals or rearing of livestock is done on the same farm. Okay, rearing of livestock and cultivation of crops done on the same farm, and it helps farmers earn more income. Waste from the farm is feed to animals, and animal waste is used as manure. And this farming is commonly practiced in Europe, North America, and New Zealand. Okay, so what is mixed farming? Cultivation of crops and rearing of livestock is done on the same farm. Okay, and waste from the farm is feed to animals, and animal waste is used as manure. Okay, and the livestock gives them additional income by selling the animal products, which may be dairy products, wool, fish, pork, etc. Okay, now the next one is plantation. Plant in this type of farming, a single bush or tree crop is grown on a very large scale. Okay, and the work on a plantation is managed as it would be done in an industry. Okay, and it requires huge capital, intensive use of machines, and scientific methods of farming is used. Skilled laborers are hired. Okay, so what is plantation? Plantation crops are like tea, coffee, sugar cane, rubber, banana, pineapple. These are the crops that which take a few years to harvest are grown in plantation. Okay, crops like tea, coffee, sugar cane, rubber, banana, pineapple, etc. are grown in plantation. Most of the world's plantations are located in the tropical zones. Some examples of plantations are rubber plantation of Malaysia and tea plantation of India and Sri Lanka. Okay, so these are the two types of farming. Thank you.